up to be a lovely day here. No kitties this morning. They're now able to have free reign of the upstairs. So they of course take full advantage of that. Find the sunniest window or hide where it's nice and dark so they can sleep. All right. All right, so Saturday. I'm still half asleep. Sorry. Sorry. Facebook is doing something weird. What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay. All right, we're good, I think. As long as everything is cooperating this morning. So we're gonna kind of keep in the theme of doing some things that we don't always do. And just play with your poses. So I'm in a teachers group, and they were talking about always wanting to go to the most difficult variation of the pose. And so today I'm going to encourage you, right, to find a challenge, maybe a step back from where you're actually able to go in any given pose, whatever that might be. Whether it's, say a warrior two. You've done a million of them, big deal, right? It's not a super challenging pose necessarily. See if maybe your feet can go a little wider, right? Or when maybe your knee can bend a little bit more, but if you press down and pull your feet together in the middle, can you challenge your legs even in that, what's the word I want? Maybe less deep pose, right? Yes, you're able to do this, but can you find work and challenge a step back from that? Does that make sense? As we go through, I'll try and maybe remind you of it. Little pieces that you can add that, again, it's not necessarily this giant expression of the pose, but it's still a challenge wherever you are, right? And the goal is to find the middle between effort and ease, right? So you want to be working, but you don't want to be working so hard that it's like, oh my God, I can't hold this any longer, kind of thing. Right? You're working, but you're like, this is cool. Yoga, it's fun, right? So that's the kind of goal for the day. Just doing some things that we haven't always done, maybe to find that place, right? Yes, you could go further, but this is still work because maybe you haven't done it in 6 months. So I may have to close the windows. It's a little noisy out there. So let's align the heels to the groin as much as you can. Make sure you feel upright on your pelvis. Lifting the pelvic floor, the lower belly's in and up or tall through our sides, but relax through the shoulders and the hips as much as possible. Extending out the crown of your head and closing your eyes. And then just being here. So we do this all the time. Where do you feel the work? Where's the ease? Noticing your breath. Gently allowing it to expand. Finding a nice full yoga breath. Staying connected to that breath, no matter what else does or does not happen. So if it's too hard, you can't breathe in it, right? Maybe it'll help with that effort and ease thing. We're going to extend the arms out to the sides. Inhaling as we reach the arms to the ceiling. Exhaling on the way back down. Again, like that. One more time. Up to the top again, inhale. As you exhale, bring your right hand in front and the left hand behind. You can touch the floor if you like. All the way back up to the top on the inhale, and then rotating over to the other side. So this little twist, don't worry about how big the twist is, but notice where the twist comes from. Right? A lot of times we plant our hands first, and that's clearly not where the twist is coming from, right? Let's go once more on each side. And then when you're back up to the top, go ahead and release the arms back to the sides. Come around onto hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Think about a nice even weight across the entire hand, not just dumping into the heels so your wrists are tired. Okay, so we're going to be here for a little bit. So inhale, take the belly toward the floor. Exhale, round the spine toward the ceiling. And then just with your breath, in and out. See if you can sort of send the breath into those tight spots in your spine. Wherever it might be. Let's go. Finding the middle. So even with just being in this tabletop, right? See if you can find a little bit of work here. So again, the weight of the upper body is on the hands very evenly. Imagine pulling your finger pads in. So that kind of reforms a little bit. Okay? Hugging your legs muscularly toward each other, you're not moving, obviously, right? Notice that even in something that's so simple, there can be work. Keep that idea. Extend the right leg straight back. Pressing through the heel. What is pulling your legs together, as if you could, here feel like? Yeah? Same idea, extending the left arm forward. Still being very engaged through your hand, your breathing. So this is very simple, but it can still be a lot of work. Release it back down. And then same idea in a second. So left leg and right arm. Release that side down again. We're gonna go back over to the right leg and left arm. Keep it working. Extending out to the side. So the arm off the shoulder to the leg off the hip to the right. As much off the hip as you can manage. Right? Sometimes it's not as high, don't think. Feel the work there, yeah? Take the hand to the floor. Go ahead and take the toes over to the side here. And we're gonna lift the upper body. Okay. Supporting with the hand on the leg here. Try not to push on your knee, of course. Extend the right arm up and bring it. Sorry, this is your left arm. Up and over. So we want to really feel that nice stretch out the left side of the body, but what are your legs doing? If you hold them toward each other, does that change anything? Maybe draw the left shoulder back a little bit more. Let's come all the way back to the top. We're gonna go over to the left and come into that side plank variation like we did last week, I guess. How about lifting the right leg? And then bend that knee and see if you can find your foot. Now, it might be easier to bring it in front to find it. It's fine, it doesn't matter, whatever. But then kind of open back up, pointing the knee toward the, I guess, top of your mat, bottom of your mat, whatever. Gently release it. Come back up to the top. And bring the hands back in front. Lifting the toes, holding here. And then bringing the leg down. And we'll go to the second side. All right, so the same idea, that left leg and right arm. Notice what your left hand is doing. Do the legs still feel like they're drawing toward each other? That kind of idea. And then take it out to the sides. Release the hand to the floor, take the toes over to the side here, and come on up on your knee. As always, when we're on our knee, if you need to cushion, for sure do, right? So supporting on with the left hand, lifting the right arm up and bringing it over. Making it challenging, whatever that means, whether it's drawing the right shoulder back a little bit more than you had, whether it's deepening the reach down your left leg. Maybe it's the idea of pulling your legs toward each other, flexing your left foot, whatever it might be. And come on back up to the top. Go all the way over to the right, that hand to the floor, lifting the left leg. You can stay here, you can play with this variation, right? Maybe bend the knee, and then the left hand finds the foot. Opening out. And the quad stretch. And then gently releasing that. Coming back up to the top. And back in front again. Lifting the leg out to the side and just simply holding. Try to lean to the right as little as you have to. And then take that leg back and down. And nice and easy for a moment here, go ahead and sit back into a child's pose. So this is your first child's pose and it might not be ultra comfortable, so modify it. Maybe open the knees, stack your hands so your forehead can rest on your hands. Take your hands back by your heels, whatever feels good. And then once more, bring yourself back up into that child's pose. Let's go ahead and take the right leg back. This time bend at the knee. And we did this when we were on the side, but see if you can do it while you're on this kind of all fours idea. Take your right hand and find your right ankle or foot, whatever. Right? Keeping the hips squared toward the floor. Maybe kicking the foot into the hand, lifting the toes a little higher. Find where the challenge is, and then back it off one extra little step and see if you can find the challenge there. Right? So yeah, maybe you could lift your toes higher, but what if you don't and you find the challenge someplace else? Maybe it's your left hand. Gently release what you got. We're coming back into that all fours, and we'll switch to the second side. Left leg, bent at the knee here. Lifting the left hand, finding the foot. Find the stretch. Find the work. And then release what you got here. Back into that all fours again. One more time into your child's pose. And since we were on the hands for a little bit, maybe roll your wrists, make fists, and then spread your fingers wide. But we're not done, of course, so go ahead and stretch those arms out long in front, grounding the four corners of the hands again, spreading the fingers wide. Let's make our way to down dog. And just allow yourself to begin to move and stretch, wiggle. And then sink it in, pressing through the heels, pressing the chest back toward the thighs, pressing the arms into the floor, hands into the floor. Lifting the right leg, and then stepping that foot through the hands, come to lunge. Dropping the back knee, adjusting these toes so that you've got knee ankle alignment if you need to here. Let's go ahead and take the right leg straight. Or straight-ish. Right? Prop if you need to prop, of course. Cushion that left knee if you need. So finding, this is early, of course, with your hamstrings, but finding the deepest part of your stretch for right now, back it off just a hair and see if you can still find work. Bend into the knee. Sweeping the legs toward each other so our hips stay nice and square. Bring the right hand to the hip and rotate around. Releasing the twist. Take the leg straight again. And then bend back into the knee. Leaving the hips low. Climb up on the thigh, lifting the upper body. Hang on to the thigh here for support. Keeping the chest nice and open. You can even kind of press away from that leg. So lean the upper body back into a back bend-ish. Right? You can take the fingers, let's go ahead and interlace them behind the lower back. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other, stretching your knuckles toward your left heel-ish. Probably not touching. We're going to release the fingers, make your way back to a lunge, and then step back into down dog. So then switching sides, lift the left leg. Step the foot through to the hands. Dropping the back knee, adjusting this left foot wherever it needs to go. Square up the hips, and we'll take the left leg straight-ish. Bend back into the knee. Sink the hips. Adding in your twist here, left hand to the hip, rotating around. And then releasing the twist, taking the leg straight again. Let's go ahead and bend back into the knee. Sink those hips a little lower maybe. Sweep the legs toward each other, climb on up. Using the leg to press away. Or interlacing the fingers here. Can you put your other thumb on top? Would you remember if it were the same one? Let's gently release what we have here. And we'll make our way back to our down dog again. Walking the feet up to meet the hands, come to a standing fold. And then let yourself just hang here. So maybe a bend in the knees if you prefer. Be nice and loose through your shoulders, let them kind of slide up by your ears. You can grab opposite elbow, maybe sway a little bit side to side, release your neck. Yes and no. And then taking your legs straight. Maybe you still touch your toes and maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. And really, when you're bringing your hands down, it's not your toes you're looking for anyhow. Maybe in some universe, the palms are flat to the floor on the sides of your feet with the tips of your fingers lining up with the tips of your toes. That may never be your reality, but again, it's not about that. It's not about touching your toes. It's about stretching your hamstrings. So wherever that happens. So the legs are straight. We're going to slide our hands up to the thighs, even if you can't touch toes. Leaning your hands on your thighs for support. Okay. We want to keep the legs straight, the hips over the ankles, not leaning behind and not bent. Yeah. And the spine in this neutral position. Right? So if you find yourself rounding, something went wrong. Hang on here, or take the hands down the sides of the body. So same idea, just no help for your arms, right? Maybe you add that little extra challenge of taking the arms out to the sides. Hands right off the shoulders. Try not to let them fly up and back. They're straight out. And if that is like way too simple, no matter what you do, you're pressing down into the floor with your feet, you're pulling your legs toward each other, you're using your belly like crazy, right? If that's still, I could be here for weeks. Take your arms straight forward, head upper arms alongside the ears here. Maybe. Find where the work is. Wherever the arms are, go ahead and bend your knees and make your way into a chair. So you can still be supported. You can have your arms out, up, wherever. And instead of being even on the four corners of the feet, come up on the toes, hold. And then stay on your toes, straighten your legs, reaching for the ceiling, and then release it all. Just silly. So let's take a nice big step back with the left foot, and we're gonna straddle. So toes point to the sides, they're parallel. Your feet are parallel. Hands on the hips. If you need to support with your hands on your thighs, certainly do. Otherwise, hands on the hips. We're gonna hinge forward into that half fold again kind of place, parallel-ish to the floor. Leave your hands on your hips as you make your way all the way over. So the hands stay on the hips so that the elbows point out to the sides. Maybe even think elbows toward the ceiling. They're not really gonna go that direction. Depending on where you have your hands, of course. Shoulders pulling together on the back. So you get a nice neutral spine. Keeping that, let your hands move toward your thighs, your shins, the floor. And then even if it means bending your knees to get there, bring the palms flat to the floor like we were talking about before. And here it's easier than with your feet together, right? So shoulder width apart, fingers spread nice and wide, as if we were in an all fours position. Right? And then see if you can keep your palms flat, slide your hands back so that your fingertips line up with the tips of your toes. So the place in between your hands is for the top of your head. Maybe someday in some reality. But for now, even if your knees are crazy bent, find the four corners of your palms on the floor. They might not be all the way back. Don't stress that. Right? But press down into the hands. And imagine as if you could push hard enough into your hands that your feet could come up off the floor. Just imagine it. If you have a handstand practice and you want to go, for sure. But no, otherwise don't worry about that. Just pushing down, make it like work, even though it looks like you're not doing anything. Releasing the weight from the hands. Taking the index and middle fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Legs are straight if you can make them straight. Elbows are out to the sides either way. Gently see about pulling against your toes and bringing your head closer to that space that was between your hands before. Release the toes here. Taking those fingers again to interlace behind the lower back. Shoulders pull toward each other, knuckles stretch away from the shoulders. Maybe up off your lower back. Try not to hyperextend the elbows, keeping them soft. And then releasing. We're gonna walk the hands forward. Let the hips come down like you were doing a wide-legged plank thing, but then let your hips sink lower, like you wouldn't in plank, right? And then walk them back again. Do that again, forward. Hips low, and then back. One more time. And when you're back, turn those fingers to point behind you. And the palms can be flat or not. That's not the point, right? So maybe the hands are kind of just happy to be on the floor. Maybe they're between your feet. Can you walk them back? Stay nice and even on your feet, keeping the body weight centered. And then however far back they go, imagine pulling against the floor to drag your belly button between your thighs, bringing your head closer to that spot on the floor. Closer. And then release the hands, walking them back in. So here then, instead of having your toes point forward, turn them out to the corners a little bit. And then from here, with your breath, exhale, bend into the right knee, sink over that direction. Inhale, come on back to the middle, and then exhale over to the left. So as the knee bends, we want to watch that it stays behind the toes, right? Over the ankle, pointing the same direction. So you may find that you need to readjust your feet here and there. And see if you can find the work before the deepest part of the bend. You know, does that make sense? So once more on each side. And then up to center, turning the toes forward again. So of course, supporting the hands on the thighs if that's where you need to be. Otherwise, hands on the hips, elbows up toward the ceiling-ish. Inhale and bring your upper body parallel to the floor. So coming up just like we went down. Legs are straight without locking the knee. The spine is in that neutral position. And then inhale and hinge all the way up. All right. So let's turn the left toes in just a little bit, turning the right toes toward the top of your mat, then into that right knee from warrior two. So looking for your big toe behind your knee, yeah. Extending the arms. So maybe this right leg could be more parallel to the floor. I used this example earlier, but if it's not, can you still feel the work? Pressing down into the feet, pulling them toward each other. Maybe it's working to keep your lower belly in and up. Find it. Let's work into a triangle. So take the right leg straight, reach forward on the toes, and hinge over. Lean on the leg if you need to lean on the leg. Not on the knee, ideally, but one more breath. And then we're gonna come around into a lunge again. So take, take the right leg straight and make yourself feel balanced here. Right? So if you need to drop the back knee, drop the back knee. If you need to hop your left foot in a little bit or a lot so that that foot is flat on the floor, whatever it is so that you don't feel like you're gonna fall over. And then take your left hand to the floor. It can be fingertips, that's fine. It could be a block. Yeah. Bring your right hand to your hip and rotate the belly around. So we were here with a bent knee, but it feels a lot different with that leg straight. Release the twist. Go ahead and bend back into the knee and drop your left knee to the floor. So your back toes can stay tucked under or flat to the floor, whatever. The idea of pulling your legs toward each other still here. How about inching your toes, your right toes, forward? And you inch them forward until you can't inch them forward anymore. Trying to work a little bend into this right knee. It's easy to hyperextend at the knee here. And the more the upper body is upright, the more stretch you get back in that left hip flexor. So listen to your body, find where it is, maybe back it off 0.5%. So you've got a little bit of ease in there as well. And then wiggle the toes back in. And you have some free. Coming up off the back knee. Let's go ahead and walk the hands around into that center of the straddle. And then walk the hands all the way around to the left, lunging toward the back of your mat. Go ahead and drop the right heel. Bring the upper body up. And we have our warrior two on the second side. So adjust if you need to adjust once you get there. Take the left leg straight, hinging over into our triangle. And then we'll release it over into our lunge. Making yourself feel stable again here, whether it's the knee down or the right foot a little closer in. Take the left leg straight again. And then add in the twist. So the right hand stays put, left hand to the hip, and we rotate around. Releasing the twist. Go ahead and drop your right knee, if it's not already. And then we start to inch the left foot forward. Wherever that goes on this side. Keeping the left knee soft. Finding the stretch. Finding the ease within the stretch. And then we're going to wiggle on out of that. Coming off the back knee, walk the hands back around to the center of your straddle and let yourself hang here again. Walking the hands back around to your right foot, lunge to the top of the mat, stepping forward. And then we'll take a bend in the knee, and on an inhale, roll your spine up to standing. All right. So a little bit of standing balance. Let's use tree. So it's probably the easiest place to find ease in the standing balance pose. Right? So listening to your body, again, we want to find where it's too easy, where it's too hard, and then find your way back to the middle. Whatever little piece that ends up being. Right? So maybe it's the balance piece, maybe it's the muscular action piece, whatever. So all the weight over into the right foot, lift the left knee, opening at the knee. You want to bring that foot to the inside of the right leg, anywhere but on your knee joint. So whether your toes are on the floor because the balance is just crazy, right? Or whether your foot is all the way up into the inner thigh. Find the middle. Hug the legs toward each other, tuck the tailbone. The hands can be center, extended. They can sway in the breeze. Your branches can sway in the breeze. Whatever it might be. We'll take one more breath here. Gently release what you got. And we'll move to the second side. So, all the way left. Lifting the right leg, opening out. Finding where this right foot needs to be. Taking your hands to where you'd like them this morning. And then finding that middle place. One more breath. And then release this side. Back to standing. So come on back to the top of the mat. Supporting with the hands on the thighs, nice and easy. Bring yourself over into that half fold kind of place. Leaning on the legs as much as you need. Take your full fold. And then just let yourself hang. So whether you're grabbing opposite elbow again, the knees can be bent, let your head release. Just kind of let it all go. If you want to walk in place a little bit to relax your legs. Good. Cool. We're going to step back into elbow. And then down into our child's pose. Let's kind of set up on the heels. And if you're happier sitting on a block than you are on your heels, that's totally fine. If you want to open your feet and knees and sit your bottom on the floor between your heels, great. And if this is just not for you, don't worry about it. Come to sit on your bottom, right? Or on a block. So we want to sit nice and tall wherever we are. Taking the right arm out with the elbow bent, fingers pointing toward the ceiling. Bring that arm in front. Wrap the left arm underneath. Bring your hand between your right arm and your face, and see if you can hook your fingers on your right hand. You can make your fingers line up, lovely, right? Or somewhere near that anyhow. Don't worry about it. Just catch if you can. If you can't quite catch your hand, maybe you can catch your wrist, wherever it is. Try and relax the shoulders away from the ears. At the same time, see if you can lift your elbows. If the hands are further away from your face, how does that feel? And it's okay if it feels better with them closer. Just finding where you need the stretch. We're going to take just a couple more breaths. And then gently release that. Roll your arms around a little bit, maybe shoulders. Taking the left arm out. We bring it in front, right arm under, between, hooking the fingers-ish. Shoulders stay relaxed as the elbows lift. Maybe the hands change exactly where they are. And maybe both places feel good. Like you need a little stretch here, but then you like that little extra stretch there. Gently releasing what you got. Roll it all out. And then we're going to bring the legs around in front. Stretch the legs out, bounce them around a little bit. Sometimes that feels good. Feet flexed, toes pointing up at the ceiling, sitting nice and tall. Reach the arms up, hinge forward from the hip, and come on over into a fold. Again, not about touching your toes. Nice big breaths. On an inhale, we're reaching back up again. Release your hands. Taking the feet flat to the floor, hang on to those hamstrings. Go ahead and C-curve your spine and roll on down. Knees hugging into the chest and just nice soft little rock. We'll take the feet flat to the floor. Arms in nice and tight to the sides of the body. We want our knees in line with our hips, so the feet are hip-bone distance apart. You can't see them, I know. Right? Heels pretty close to your hips, but not necessarily touching. Pressing down into the triceps, pull the heels toward the hips to lift the hips away from the floor. So, fine, right? You can take your arms straight. You can interlace your fingers behind your lower back. You can continue to lift the pelvis, feeling the body weight on the shoulders and the backs of your arms, not your head or neck. Keep the legs feeling as if they're pulling toward the body, not pushing away. Tailbone stays tucked to keep your lower back happy. Find the effort in a place that you would otherwise say is too easy for you. We're going to hold one more breath and then gently bring it down. Keep the feet flat for just another breath or two. And then drawing the knees back into the chest. Go ahead and rock again. So feet flat to the floor. Arms open into a T position. We're taking that final twist. So if you just want to let the knees fall over, if you want to shift the hips first, bend the knees, leave them straight, whatever. Take the hips over to the, if you're going that way, take the hips over to the left and the knees are going to fall to the right, making the adjustments that your body needs today. And you can always start in one place and adjust, adding or subtracting. So just a couple more breaths over on this side. So if you did want to add something in, go ahead. Gently making your way back to the middle. And then whatever you did on the first side, do that on the second. And what you add or not add over here might be different. Taking just a couple more breaths over on this side. And then making your way back to the middle. One last time, pull the knees into the chest. You can rock a little bit here if you like. We're going to squeeze those knees in good and tight. Forehead toward the knees. And then release that into a full body stretch. Releasing your stretch. Making your way to wherever Shavasana is going to be. And just take a moment to feel aligned on the mat. Whether your feet are flat, soles of the feet are together. Just finding even weight across your shoulders and hips. Head and neck are comfortable. And then releasing your muscles into the mat. Releasing control of your breath. Keeping the mind quiet. Just give yourself a few minutes to rest, mind and body. Staying in Shavasana longer if you'd like, of course. When you're ready, keeping your eyes closed and your mind in this quiet place, slowly make your way up to seated. Sitting well, bring the palms to touch, bowing to the light within. Namaste. Good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for practicing with me. Again, any suggestions, comments, constructive criticism. And you can always check out nvidiayoga.com for more and to have access to other videos. All right, thanks y'all. Have a lovely weekend. Hopefully it's as pretty where you are as it is here. Thanks y'all.